Welcome to the news from across the Mornington Peninsula, RPPV News. I'm Jo Violetta.
And I'm Katie Sharp. Our top stories for this edition are:
greenhouse gases reach a record high.
RPPV News talks to the new Mayor and CEO on the Peninsula.
Centrelink's robo-debt is powered down.
Councillor Peter Murphy calls for action on the state of the aged care system.
And the Peninsula's Tones and I makes her US TV debut.
Now for the full stories. Greenhouse gas levels in the atmosphere have reached a record high, with the suggestion that they're fueling climate change. We are leading on this news again to bring you findings put out this week by the world's meteorological organisation. 2018 saw carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas levels in the atmosphere reach these record highs.
The WMO Secretary-General has stated that the last time the Earth experienced a comparable concentration of CO2 was 2 to 5 million years ago. Back then, the temperature was 2 to 3 degrees Celsius hotter and the sea level was up to 20 metres higher. A sobering thought for every one of us. There is a major concern that we are not reducing the use of fossil fuels quickly enough.
Frankston Council is calling on the Frankston City community to come together to help fight climate change.
Frankston City Council has officially declared a climate emergency, joining a number of other councils across the country.
Mayor Sandra Mayer said that, as a bayside suburb, we need to consider and implement ways to ensure we are mitigating and minimising the risk of coastal erosion. Low-lying suburbs such as Seaford could be severely impacted should sea levels continue to rise, the Mayor said.
RPP's Brendan Telfer met with the new Mayor of the Mornington Peninsula Shire when Sam Hearn dropped by the studio. Accompanied by the Shire's CEO, John Baker, Mayor Hearn talked about his vision for the peninsula and its community. We go to Brendan now for the highlights of that interview.
Sam Hearn, congratulations, Sam. I'm just wondering whether you are the youngest ever Mayor of Mornington.
Someone asked me this the other day. Obviously, the Mornington Peninsula Shire was amalgamated in the mid-90s, and I think it's pretty safe to say I'm the youngest mayor of the Mornington Peninsula Shire. Mornington Shire itself, going back, a long way beyond that, I don't know. We'd have to really look into the history books, maybe back to the early 1900s to make sure, but I'll probably be amongst the youngest one way or the other.
I think we should do that, Sam, because I'm pretty sure you are.
I got a feeling you are as well. I'm an old codger, and believe me, I can't remember ever talking to a mayor as young as you, Sam, which is fantastic. Yeah. So you two are going to get up to a little bit of mischief over the next year or so. I mean, it's very dynamic. It's a new look as well with John on board, and you must be, very ambitious to introduce and maybe make your mark as well, Sam.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, John's been around for nearly a year now, so he's an old hand, really.
The old guy.
Yeah, I mean, for me and John already get on great, I think, and we share a lot in common in terms of both our real genuine heart for the community, but also some of that kind of wanting to engage in higher level strategic thinking about the long-term future. And so what can we get done in 12 months that plants some great seeds for the future? So,
well, let us help you here at your local radio station and TV station as well.
Part of the government's robo-debt scheme has been abandoned. The Centrelink scheme has been targeting vulnerable Australians, according to Peter Murphy, member for Dunkley.
The Department of Human Services is instructing staff that they will no longer raise a debt where the only information is the averaging of ATO income data, and will reverse the onus of proof so that victims no longer have to prove they don't owe the debts.
Since being elected, the member for Dunkley, Peter Murphy, says members of the community have often contacted her office in desperation, seeking help with debt notices or procedural unfairness in their dealings with Centrelink. In one case, Councillor Murphy cited, a single mother of four struggling to make ends meet from a marriage breakdown discovered at the end of a week she only had $28 left in her bank account to see her through the weekend. Centrelink had withdrawn $39,000 from her account for a debt that they said she owed from 2015.
Councillor Murphy has also launched a new community campaign in Dunkley, urgently calling on the federal government to act now on aged care. This week, the interim report from the Royal Commission into Aged Care Quality and Safety laid bare the disturbing state of Australia's aged care system. There is not one part of Australia's aged care system that isn't impacted by the crisis, Councillor Murphy said.
Mount Martha star Tones and I well and truly reached stratospheric heights with a recent appearance on Jimmy Fallon's late night show. In a US TV debut, Tones and I performed her mega hit Dance Monkey on The Tonight Show to a standing ovation.
Frankston's Art Centre has launched its 2020 event program. We give you a preview of the exciting shows to come.
Frankston is so much more than bogans and beer. It's a little fancier every year, like there's a statue of a crab and a very long pier. And don't forget Susan Kennedy from Neighbours used to live here at the Frankston Art Center. There's a lot going on. Archie Roach, the MSO, and Animal Farm. Ariel is by a thread, an American song. There's the Frankston Art Center. There's so much to see. Summer of the 17th.
Lord of the Strings and local classical guitarist Matthew Fagan visited the RPPV studios recently to talk about his upcoming concert at Coolah Wetlands Observatory and his special guitar. Welcome, Matthew.
Hi.
Now, I believe there is a local connection with your instrument. Would you like to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, this is a beautiful handmade 10-string classical guitar made by Richard Howell, who lives in Mornington. In fact, I have several of Richard's guitars going right back to 1987. And this is my most recent Richard Howell guitar. And he's famous around the world. This is about guitar number 500. 500 handmade concert instruments he's made.
That's fabulous. Oh my gosh. Your Sydney Opera House concert was a sellout. Can we expect to hear the same music and compositions at your call-out show?
Well, the one I just did sold out again too.
Amazing.
So I've just come back from Sydney. I've done a New South Wales tour with Nicholas Young, who'll be joining me at Cool Art. Yes, and all our shows sold out again. We're just so pleased.
Tell us a bit more about the tango in the guitar.
Well, I suppose first the guitar, it is a bit unusual being a 10-string. What makes the difference are the 4 extra bass strings going down to a low A, B, C and D. So it's sort of a combination of the ancient lute, which had lots of extra bass strings, and the modern Spanish guitar. Tango.
Can you tell us a bit more about your schedule for next year with your concert?
Oh, gee, I've got to get over this year first. No, it's the Adelaide Fringe Festival with the South Australian and Victorian tour. That will also be with Laura Ue, our flamenco dancer. Now, Laura joined us at Cool Art earlier this year, and we hope that we'll be back in the late summer season back at Cool Art, but we'll be doing Adelaide Fringe and then more concerts at Deakin Edge, and then I'll be heading over to the Edinburgh Fringe and a European tour from July onwards.
You are very busy musicians. So with your Cool Art concert, can you tell us a bit about the wetlands down at Cool Art?
It's been a favourite venue of mine for well over 15 years. Jenny and Parks Victoria have been really receptive, and it's the Cool Art Wetlands Homestead, part of Parks Victoria down in Summers, and it's also utilised for big outdoor concerts. But where we perform is in the Bird Observatory, and for that reason, it's one of my favourite locations to perform because the audience can watch us, but they can also see the bird life flying around the wetlands, and it's a really unique
Beautiful
experience.
Thank you for joining us in the RPPV studio, Matthew. You can hear Matthew Fagan live in his concert at the Call Out Wetlands Observatory in Summers on Sunday, December 1st at 3 p.m. For bookings, phone 0438 881 985 or go to tangocoolart.eventbrite.com. So to give us a small taste of what to expect at a Call Out concert, here's Matthew Fagan.
And now for the upcoming weather, we cross to Lisa.
Lisa Lenoble with the Mornington Peninsula 6-day forecast this Thursday, the 28th of November. So today we can expect a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 20. Partly cloudy, winds west to southwesterly, 15 to 25 k's, tending west to northwesterly, 20 to 30 k's an hour before dawn, then shifting south to southeasterly in the morning. On Friday, we're going to have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 20. Cloudy, medium chance of a shower, most likely in the evening. The winds are going to be southeasterly, 20 to 30 k's an hour, becoming light during the morning, then becoming southerly, 15 to 25 k's an hour during the afternoon. On Saturday, we'll have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 17. Partly cloudy, high chance of a shower, 2 to 8 millimetres will be predicted, and winds will be southerly, 15 to 25 k's, turning southwesterly, 25 to 30 k's during the afternoon. On Sunday, the 1st of December, it's the first day of summer, but who would know with this weather? Firstly, happy birthday to my beautiful daughter Ottilie on this day. Also, it's the first day of Christmas. So let's take a look at what the weather's doing. We're going to have a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 17. Cloudy, high chance of a shower, winds southwesterly 20 to 25 k's, turning northwesterly 25 to 40 k's during the morning. Gumboots and raincoats on the farm for your party, darling. Now on Monday, we'll have a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 18. Partly cloudy, high chance of a shower, winds westerly 35 to 45 k's, increasing to 40 to 50 k's during the day. On Tuesday, a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 19. Cloudy, high chance of a shower, most likely during the morning. Winds westerly 35 to 45 kilometres an hour, decreasing to 30 to 35 kilometres an hour later. Swirly, windy weather. Oh, I'm Lisa Lenoble. That's it for this week's weather. Hopefully we'll have some warmer and sunnier weather for you next week. Thanks so much for watching on RPPV.
Time now for our weekly trip down the coast with the most to our man with an eye on the water, Muzz.
Welcome to this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. So again, nearly got it right last week, but Saturday and Sunday proved me wrong. We actually had pretty good waves late last week. This week it's been getting surfs every day, but the big thing happening is the start of summer on Sunday, but it's not going to be summer, it's going to be winter. 15 degrees, southwesterly winds and a big winter type swell. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it looks like we're going to be surfing in Western Port Bay, unless you want to get a bunch of big waves on the head, on the back beaches. So looks like we're back in the bay. It's winter time again. Also just a big out to the boys going over to young kids from the peninsula heading to the Australian titles in Margaret River. They fly out this morning, so good luck to those boys and girls. There's a couple going, so hopefully next week we'll get some good results and have an Australian champion on the peninsula. All right, see you next week. Hopefully you get a surf.
And that's all from our team here in Mornington, serving the community with stories that matter to you.
Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula. Keep watching and tell your friends. I'm Katie Sharp.
And I'm Jo Violetta. See you for the next edition.